I just want to soak this in. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am by now. I am the two-time Nebocsid award-winning Nebocsid. And for the first time in this decade, century, and millennium, I have ascended Grouse Mountain for the first time since my childhood in the 90s. And well, I'm hoping I can find something up here that will be special enough for my 400th video. And I look at the ground. Okay, it's important to remember what came before us. You know, like the history of the world, not just like our own ancestry, which is important, you know, that we need to understand where we came from as individuals, but we also need to remember other families and other heritages, because they do deserve to be remembered. You know, and I see things, and I understand as an adult that I have a responsibility to look into things that I may not have been taught as a child. At the same time, we should be teaching our kids as well. It's about what happened, right? So I look around and I see some of these statues, and it's one of those things where I'm happy to see that there are monuments to remember these people, but it's one of those things where there's also sort of like almost like a self-indictment as to how little I know or remember. Because these things are things that we should all take time to learn about each other and treat each other like we're all important. That's a responsibility that I have, and it's a responsibility that I hope other people recognize as well inside themselves. That whether we like it or not, we all exist. We all need to remember that that in order for all of us to count, we all have to count.
This one over here, and I had about an 8-year-old girl this morning when we were talking about it, and I said, the dad said, we've heard this owl, and I'm not sure what kind it is, and then the girl says, he sounds like this. He goes, it's this guy. So that's a barred owl. This one is a screamer, okay? So we had got a reputation earlier on because they're in barns, they've got sort of a whitish body, and you hear these screaming and see something white flying through that. They figured they were ghosts, okay? But she is actually more comfortable on the flatlands, on farms. So when she's in the air, she's very camouflaged against the clouds, and yet when she's on the ground, from the top, she does have that beautiful camouflage. See the size of her head? Quite big, right? Skull's like this. And inside that skull, what does she have? She has 2 fairly large eyes, okay, which means there's not a lot of room inside that skull for a brain. Now, there is a brain there, however, it's not a very big brain. So this little guy has a very small brain, weighs about 600 grams. It weighs about 1.33 pounds, something like that. Long legs for digging the mice out of the grass. Basically a mouser. These guys can eat 3 to 5 mice a day. A family of mice, a family of owls living on a farm can easily eat several thousand mice a year. So it's great pest control on the farms, right? We refer to her talons on this one as weapons of mouse destruction. There we go. That wasn't too bad, was it? Other than the fact you tried to chew my thumb off. I'm just getting used to these guys. They're just getting used to me, so they're not real happy with because they don't know me very well. Gorgeous bird, right? This one weighs about 1,700 grams. So it was about 3.5 pounds, something like that, 3 1/3 pounds. She was born in Toronto, in Ontario, in the Canadian Raptor Conservancy. Okay? But these guys are apex predators. So she actually doesn't have any predators going after her, which equates to a much longer lifespan. When you've not got all these other things out there trying to catch and eat you, you're going to live longer. Lifespan for these guys, 40 years, 40 plus. Okay? Now when you look at those talons here, you can see that you don't want to mess with them. That's why I have this heavy-duty glove on. Okay? They have extremely powerful talons. A couple years ago at the Birds in Motion here, they had a great horned owl in the show. Her name was Topa, and the handler was talking about how they use their talons to catch and kill. And he said, to show you how strong they are, most average males have a grip strength of about 100 pounds per square inch. Topa have been tested at 800 pounds per square inch. Okay, and then, to make it even worse, he said, but Topa is a captive-born bird. The wild ones are even stronger than that. So they've been tested over 1,000 pounds per square inch. So they can find their prey and crush the skull with their talons. That's how strong they are. They're amazing hunters, these guys. She's got those feathered horns up there, which are called plumicorns. They're actually just feathers. Okay. She has a much wider menu. So she can not only eat mice and rats and weasels and small birds and smaller owls, rabbits, snowshoe hares, and guess what? Skunks. Okay? So the reason why, and they can hunt animals that are twice their size. That's how powerful they are. Okay? You know what happens when you attack a skunk? You get sprayed, right? It doesn't smell very good. These guys don't, it doesn't bother them. And why is that? They do have nostrils for breathing, but they have no sense of smell.
I'm a city boy. You know, like I spend a lot of time in the city. I don't exactly go hiking a whole lot, and the closest I get is, of course, the remix videos that I do where I'm going through the various parks. But, like I said, this is my first time up here in decades. I haven't been up here since the 90s. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys what I'm seeing right now. Another area that I remember from when I was a kid, and I think this is like one of those family zones, and I'm just curious to see what it's like. So I remember very little of it, but I want to see what it's like now. And that's a wave, and there's a slide that goes down. Definitely don't remember the wavy bridge or the slide. I'm not sure, but then again, I'm not really sure if this was built before I was a kid or not, because I was a miserable kid, so I kind of block out a lot of that. And continuing on, there's actually
I think this one is a little bit
a net bridge, like a net under there.
But also because I'm heavier, there's a lot faster.
I mean, they can have fun maybe not the slide. Just
It's all interconnected here.
And you want to go over there? Rich?
But I'm kind of tempted to see what it's like on the inside.
Hey, Nat, you want? She doesn't want.
I don't think this is gonna work. This one, folks, rings a bit of a bell. But I remember one thing like this where it was a big log. I think my ass may be a little too fat for that one. Forgive me for not trying it. So we found Blue Grouse Lake. Blue Grouse Lake. Blue Grouse Lake is a water reservoir that is home to newts, salamanders, and dragonflies, as well as a source of fresh drinking water for a variety of wildlife, including Columbia black-tailed deer, songbirds, hawks, and grouse. The lake and mountain named after the very tame blue grouse birds that call this area home. They are often seen along the trails, but at times can be difficult to spot as they blend in very well with their surroundings. Blue grouse are not actually blue, but a grayish-brown in color. The males sound as if they are blowing air over an empty bottle, giving a low-pitched booming call. They make this call to declare their territory in the spring. Blue grouse live on the mountain year-round. In winter they dig into snowbanks and sleep, which keeps them well insulated against the cold. Now, it's one of those things where I'm realizing just how out of shape I got because of the 2 months off I had from work because COVID closed us down. Man. Yeah, I gotta step up more. Back at Christmas, I did the Christmas train at Stanley Park. That I remember from my childhood fairly well. This was another thing that we did each year. But this is one of those ones that I forgot so much more. And to go back and to see this, you know, it's like seeing it for the first time again because it's been so long and I've forgotten so much that it's amazing. You know, part of me wishes I had done this as a video a long time ago. So, just looking around and seeing all these things and the views and the carvings. These footsteps, folks. They take us right up. To a grizzly bear habitat. I don't see any grizzly bears. Even if I did, the result would be grizzly. We are on our way down, folks.
Just as well. We are, please practice physical distancing as you make your way back to your vehicles in the parking lot, and mind you, speed down Nancy Greenway in consideration for our neighbours. Thank you so much for joining me at the Peak of Vancouver. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and that we will be seeing you again soon. Thank you.
Okay, as you probably surmised by the footage, I am back at down at the bottom of the mountain. My time at Grouse Mountain is done, and I guess that's it, folks. Thank you for watching. I am the two-time Nebocsid award-winning Nebocsid, and I'm glad to have number 400 done.